Hello, you catch me playing with the World of Warcraft server. So this is a very simple Core 2 Duo. We have two 2.5-inch drives as our data and backup drive, one main SATA 3.5-inch drive as our boot drive. And you may be able to make out that there's only one stick of memory in there right now, because the other three are here. Now I'm currently moving, so you can see everything is sort of packed up. There's great chunks of the room missing. So I had to cut the power on this. I couldn't shut it down. I had nothing, no phone, no nothing. I just cut the power. Returning power, it's not a happy bunny. I don't know why. So right now we have got a login. So I will try and log in. So hang on. Okay, so we've got a valid login. And it has gone back onto its fixed IP. So that stick's fine. What about the rest? Okay, let me shut it down. -P now. Oh, I've got a password. This is not fun. One-handed at least. Okay, it is shutting down. Interestingly, it said the firmware has detected the amount of memory has changed. That's since I've popped the rear cover off. Leaving the rear cover on, it said nothing. So let's pull the power. Let's try another stick. Now I've got one in the blue, so I'm going to put it in this blue one. Just here. You'll have to forgive the shonky camera work, but I can't do much better right now. Okay, why wouldn't that go in? It doesn't want to go in. Let me try. Let me try with this hand. No, why don't you want to go in? The notch is lined up. Everything's the same. That is just not a good fit. Okay, let's put the power back in. And I know you're all saying, why isn't he earthing himself? Well, because this is a junker machine, it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's have a watch. Okay, I'm going to think that stick's okay. It's not mentioned anything about the memory changing now. So I will just repopulate all the sticks and leave the machine on in a minute. Yep, it's back up. Okay, I will cut the video, I will repopulate the whole board and we'll come back in a second. Okay, this stick looks fine as well. It can go in. There we go. And the final stick can go in. Somehow. I am terrible at this one-handed. Set that on to the bishop. There we go. Right, we're in. Power going back on. after a fashion. If I can even plug it in. I'm getting terrible now. Okay, so let's stand it up. Let's let it boot now. Thrilling. Yep, seems fine. Yep, all coming up fine now. So this box has just got to be replaced by something more permanent, especially if I intend for it to be on 24/7. There's nothing critical on it, but it's made me look a bit of a fool since during the week it went down. In fact, it was Tuesday it went down. I've only just got to look at it and it's Saturday. So I will start everything running again. I'll kill this off. I don't really care about the monitor. We go to turn off the monitor, in fact. There we go. And we will do it through SSH. Oh, welcome back to the video. You will have probably just seen part of my troubleshooting the hardware on my World of Warcraft server. This is because, I can't type my password, but this is because it was turned off on Tuesday. And since Tuesday, it's been completely off. I don't think I've got the memory, so let's just try top. Yeah. Nothing strange is running. So I've turned everything to run manually. I've, as you may have just seen, changed around some of the memory. We had a memory error, hence having the manual for the motherboard. So it's just an Intel DG33VU motherboard. It's a socket 773. It's a Core 2 Duo, the lowest powered one I could find to leave on 24/7, but still not an atom, if that makes sense. It has 4 gig of RAM. I've just found out it can have 8. In fact, I'm going to check 2, 4, 6. No, it has 8 gig of RAM. It has 4 sticks of 2. I thought it had 4 sticks of 1. It has 4 sticks of 2 gigabytes. So it has 8 gig of RAM. And we have our own web URL now. So I'm using a no IP record to get the machine online, and basically it was fine. All last weekend it was absolutely no problem. There was no issues. I played it. Chaplin helped play it. Thank you very much, Chaplin. And then Tuesday came along and we had to cut power. We're moving. We're sorting stuff out, boxing everything up and chucking everything we can away and things. And the machine needed to move. It needed to come out the corner. I needed to sort the corner. I had to put it back. When I put it back, I turned it on. It was fine. It just did its thing. And I didn't have any issues with it. I thought it would be no issue at all. Just start it all back up. I started it all back up, but then I couldn't SSH into it. It's like it hadn't booted. So then I tried going down and talking to it. Now downstairs, of course, there is no monitor. I don't have a monitor downstairs to do anything. There we go, we're in. So I tried to troubleshoot. I made sure the power was on, but it's that horrible thing where the BIOS, you put power to it and the BIOS starts to turn and you think, hang on, it's running fine, and it turns off a moment later and you think, oh, it's not fine. Then I was getting 3 error beeps. So I was getting literally, that's not as good as the one I've got. Come on. I was getting 3 long beeps, which, as you can see from here, meant no memory. And when I say no memory, I mean no memory. So cutting the power had stopped the motherboard detecting memory. So I powered it off, let it all go cold, had my tea, left it an hour, went back, powered it back on, same beep. Not good. Opened it there and then downstairs,
made sure that all the memory was reseated, made sure it was in, made sure I got the green light on the board when I put power to it, then turned it on, all seemed fine, closed the case, seemed to be running, came back up here, no SSHing into it, nothing. So it's been a bit of a mystery, and today, you may have just seen the video, I don't know how I'm going to cut this, but I've unplugged it, carried it upstairs after having 5 minutes, and I have taken all the memory out and put one stick, and booted it. It booted fine. Yeah, and then I put all the rest in, and they booted fine, and now it's running. So why was it off? That is the mystery. We don't know why it was off. So hardware error, nothing to do with software. Software wise, I have pulled in some changes for the server from the TBC project from CMangos. So we'll do the same again now while the server's running. We will return ourselves, make a dance a moment while I start the virtual machine for the build server. So this is how I manage it. I have the build server here. It's a dual core build server to 4 gigs of RAM. I can make it a lot more if I want. So I will. I'll make it 8 gigs of RAM and 8 cores. That's the joy of having lots of cores. So I'm running VMware Player because I prefer VMware Player. I've been professionally using VMware Player for about 7 or 8 years, VMware Workstation professionally, and I use VMware Player at home myself in my personal work because it seems a lot better than options from Oracle and other such folks, because I know it just seems to work. Git pull. There we go. So we've got some updates to the licensing. They've updated something with the barons. I don't know what they've done with the barons. There are 2 changes. Target movement generator for the motion generators. World session changes, spell effect changes. So can't remember where the build is for this. CD build make J8. So let's just see what it wants to rebuild. It's building dependencies of target game. So it's been a fix to the taxi handler as well. And most of these Mangos updates that I pull in are related changes in the server database scripts as well. So they come with SQL scripts to update. And I can kind of understand where Gummy was coming from when he was talking about you shouldn't really have some of the things that are in the database in the database. Some of the boss stuff, for example, some of this script dev stuff. I understand why it's done that way for the Mangos project, but I think I'm going to have to look at doing it a different way, especially because I'm interested in how the server side is handling the information. Well, the server is pretending to be these characters. It is the dungeon master, as it were. So the fact that it's detached, the code you're running sometimes is pulling information from the database. It's fine, but I would rather have common things in RAM. I think there's plenty of space for some of these common things to be in RAM rather than to the database. If it's not critical that it be kept, if it doesn't matter for the next hour, for instance, that it be committed to the database, leave it in RAM. And that's where I'm sort of hedging my bet. But of course, I've got my Dell servers available. So I've got, 8 core boxes here with, huge amounts of RAM in them. And I'm looking at, in the new year, moving to something like a Dell R610 with 2 E5 class Xeons. So we're talking 24 plus threads, probably 36. We're looking 128, maybe 196 gigabytes of RAM. So I'm not going to have an issue with holding the whole world in RAM. But this little dual core machine seems to be doing it fine. While the builds are going on, let's just update myself what I was doing. So I've leveled up leatherworking a little bit with this character. And we can make a little more. She's on 25. So let's pop around here to see what I can train. I can't remember. So we've got Princess Must Die, Further Concerns, Heeding the Call. Right, I was going to go to Darnassus, and I discovered that the Deep Run tram was not running. So we will, while that build's happening,
what can I do for you?
Just see that. Hand stitched leather belt, 29 armor. I haven't got enough to make it, but it's good to have. And I will go to the Dwarven District, which is dead ahead. Let's just see what the build says. Build's still going at 48%. If I just drag it over here a bit, we can see the percentage 49, 50. And we'll cross over here and go and see what's going on. Chaplin and I are going to play tomorrow. Oh, look! There's the Sewer Beast. Hi, Sewer Beast. Hi. I don't remember. I remember the first time that thing appeared. I think the first time I saw it, I was about a level 10 or 11. And I was equipped with a white bought from vendor axe. I was a warrior, and I saw that thing down there, and I was like, "Oh, it's got a skull on its number. Oh, no problem." Yeah, big problem. Big problem. Let's carry on. Building at 58%. Right, is the tram running? The tram isn't running. I'm going to be really baffled because it was. The trams were definitely running. In the middle. We'll just wait right here. We'll keep our eye on the builds now at 63%. Temple of Ankh-Arch, Razorfang Kraal, Kalimdor, Eastern Kingdoms, Dustwallow Marsh. So these are all CPP files for those areas. See, I need to go through some of this. Nixier's layer. Anyone want to say welt groups? Even groups left, odd groups right. Watch the fucking tail. We've all seen that video. For some reason, I heard a rumour that Wipe Club was on the server I was on, but Wipe Club wasn't on the server I was on, I don't think. Either way, as far as I understand, they were a Horde crew, so I've never met them. 70%. There should have been a tram by now. Now, this is a mystery because, of course, we had trams. They were there, no problem. We'll leave Metavalis here when we deploy this executable to the machine downstairs. So what we'll do is we will literally exit game, exit now. She's fine. I will bookmark that because it's going to be useful. We've been reading the news. And we will server shutdown 0. Kill you. we go. So Mangos 0 and Realm 0 were the previous ones, so we'll just move Mangos D to Mangos D1, move Realm D to Realm D1. So I can always roll them back. See, I could roll Mangos 0 and Realm 0 on, but it's not been working out that way. CD server. And they're the SQLs I put in first time. Make directory 1 cp star.sql 1. Should have moved them. RM star.sql. So they're the ones I had updated. Make directory 2 cd2. And what we generally do is when the build's done, I start a web browser on this box here, on the green text box, and I download the files in here with a wget, so they're pulling to the machine. Then I run it and let it tell me which SQLs are missing. It's the easiest way for me to do that. I'm not interested in the SQL. I'm only interested in how the server works. I know I will have to start getting into the SQL structure, but I don't want to represent my stuff in that way. I'm already looking at basically NoSQL database formats. So I'm looking at XML, I'm looking at different metadata formats that I want to use that are more accessible, more readable by a human rather than have to go learn a structured query language to do stuff. I really like structured query language, but I think if you're, I love structured query language and I love databases. I love the stability they provide. I love the ease of connectivity they provide and the guarantees of writing stuff to the disk. But I also kind of like accessibility to the data, and I find having to interface to data through SQL rather than having direct access to it is just another layer on things. I understand the pros and cons of both, but when I'm just trying to understand something, I want to get at it quickly. If I was engineering something for serious use, SQL all the way, or whatever database solution you happen to have. So I've looked at CouchDB, I've looked at a few other NoSQL options, but XML is going to be the one that I truly go for. So this video is run to 16 minutes, and I know there's about 5 minutes of me faffing around with the data. So the screen went to sleep then. So we've built Mangos D. It's linking it now. So it's built libgame A. It's linking the two together. Just want to try something before this is done. History. No. Okay. Python 3-m server, and then here we wget stormwind. Is this stormwind? Sure, it's stormwind. Yeah, stormwind 8000 Mangos D. File not found. ls-1fgh. They are dated today. So it rebuilt Mangos, only Mangos, so I'll only pull Mangos across. No, I won't pull both. Dash and Shaba. Insert me again. That's pulling it over, you see. Voila. CHmod plus X Mangos D. And we can pull over round D. CHmod plus X round D. Tell me what it's missing, if anything. Seems to be nothing. RM-F2. So we've done a rebuild. Let's start up Burning Crusade again. Nearly done with this video. Information you provided is incorrect. Thought that was going to get stuck then. That's definitely rolled me back. Which means when I logged out and when I stopped the server, it didn't update the character. So we know we can get that belt recipe, but we'll just go to the deep run tram. Just go this way to deep run tram and hope the tram is now running. If it's not, there was a change to the taxi thing though, there wasn't there? Sure there was, but I'm sure a taxi is a flight. Is sewer beast there? No, no sewer beast this time. Look. Oh, certainly no sewer beast right here. Hi, Officer Brady. It's still these two. They're slightly out of step. I thought they walked together. Oh, he's walking up the wall. Pathing issue. Let's hope. Let's hope. Hope to look to pray that the tram is working. And if it is, I will leave this here. I will take the machine back downstairs. Come on, tram. Here, trammy, trammy, trammy. There it is. Damn, missed it. Okay, so we need to wait for the tram this side. Good Iron Forge. Suppose we could do the rat catching quest very quickly. I haven't already done it. I don't think I've done it. I don't think this character's ever been to Ironforge. You're thinking, how did a night elf get to Elwyn if it hasn't been through Ironforge? I summoned it as a player bot. So I was playing about and munched an NPC and summoned Metavalis as a bot. Yeah. Didn't go well. She was level 1. But I've since got her to level 10. Playing on. Come on, deep run tram. I just saw you. I swear to God, I just saw it. I will review this video and see if I'm imagining this. At 6 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, I don't want to be imagining that. shut down the server. Well, the build server, not this server. That's the build server gone away. Hang on. There's only one running. Okay, hang on. www. So there's only one side running. So that side's not running. Why is that side not running? But we have tram at least. Tram. Not trams. Tram. I just love how seamless it is. When I first saw this, how seamless the world was, that, you know, you're going through this massive tunnel. You can run it as well. That's what amazes me. You can literally run it.
Pleased to meet you. You have a great day now.
Yeah, ratty, ratty, ratty. So the rats don't behave right. They don't follow you. They run off. One more sweet, delicious, succulent rat. I only need one. Where are you? There's one. Ah, now there's a tram on that side.
Need assistance? Alrighty then. Be seeing you.
Yeah, you got on. I'm going to take the package back to his brother, hand it in and come back again. But that's the end of this video, folks. It was just a little heads up that something was wrong with the actual physical box. We pulled the latest changes from CMangos, and as soon as I've moved, I think we will have a permanent box up all the time. And it will potentially be quite a powerful box because house I'm moving to, it's got solar energy. It's got solar power panels on the roof already. So we might be able to offset the cost. I'll let you know. Till then, folks, thanks for being back around. And to the folk, there's a chap following me on GitHub who has lots and lots of server stuff. Drop me a line.